Hi guys, welcome back. In last week's episode I looked at some different tests that I undertook to look at different aspects of my health. I discovered I was overweight and borderline obese with 26% body fat. My blood pressure wasn't great and I had a dad bod that most dads would cringe at. In this episode I've been looking at the results of my blood tests, looking at some keto meal plans and discussing how I'm feeling without carbs filling my system. I'm not going to lie, these first 2 weeks have been really tough. Initially, there was the carb cravings. Pasta! And then because my body was so used to carbs, I felt tired all the time. Go away, leave me alone. And with all the extra fats and oils in my diet, I had an upset stomach every day. But as my blood ketones increased, the cravings, the lethargy, and the constant trips to the toilet diminished. And by about day 10, I was in the optimal ketone zone and I felt on top of the world. So I haven't had many carbs for about a week now. I've had 0 carbs for today. I've been out this mountain bike track for about 2 hours, not feeling tired at all. So the old saying that you need carbs for energy isn't really coming true at the moment. I'm hanging in there just fine. All right, let's go. So I managed to catch up with Dr. Cooney today to discuss my blood test results. Here's what he had to say.
Well, I mean, look, your triglycerides were not particularly low. They're sort of higher normal, really, being 1.4. So okay. The fats in your blood should drop with going on a low sugar and refined carbohydrate and low alcohol diet. Look, your LDL cholesterol is not low either. I mean, that's 3.3, that's high normal.
So my cholesterol and my triglycerides were in the normal range, but they were at the higher end of the normal range.
The sugar is the other important one. And so your fasting plasma glucose was 4.6.
Okay, so that's
okay.
It's okay?
Right. Yeah, that's okay. But, like, it could go down. It definitely go down.
So my blood sugar wasn't too bad, but it could be better.
So you have the other interesting one was your fasting insulin. So that was 7. So that's quite good. Anything less than 10 is is okay. So it's not as if you do have any pre-diabetic insulin resistance. Doesn't look like that at all. So that's good. I mean, but that'll be interesting because on this diet, if these drop even further, I mean, that'll show how effective it is.
And my insulin wasn't too bad, but again, could be improved.
So I guess the hypothesis would be that being on a high fat, high protein diet, low carbohydrate, low sugar diet, that your triglycerides should drop and your LDL should drop. Given you lose weight, there's less fat to transport, so your LDL will drop also. But that's one perspective. But the other one would be, there's sort of from the Framingham study and data that if you have more saturated fat, your LDL cholesterol will go up. Yeah. And, possibly your triglycerides will go up. But, I doubt it. I think they'll both go down. Okay. But we'll see.
So this afternoon I went shopping at the supermarket for some mincemeat. I had a look at all the different varieties, and a lot of the beef varieties were low in fat, heart smart, and very healthy. So what I wanted to do is find something with a little bit more fat. I came across this organic lamb mince, which is roughly 20% fat, which is quite high in fat content. So I've decided to go with that, make some delicious lamb mince with some garlic. So with my lamb mince, I've made this delicious lamb and tomato and spinach, rosemary and garlic dish to put with a bit of avocado. So I'm here today at Lidcombe Oval, home of the Western Sydney Two Blues. I'm going to have a chat to some of the performance staff in the team and see what they think of the ketogenic diet, and if it's something that they would maybe consider, or if it might be something worth considering for some of the players. So I'm here today with Lockie McKinnon, Head of Performance at Western Sydney 2 Blues. Lockie, what do you think of the ketogenic diet for just general day-to-day living?
In general day-to-day living, it depends on whether or not someone's looking at general lifestyle, weight maintenance, weight loss, weight gain. As long as macronutrient, micronutrient sort of variables are taken into account, it can be done quite effectively. There's a lot of benefits to it. Energy, focus, clarity. As I said, as long as those variables in terms of whether it be protein, carbohydrates, fats, micronutrients, and fibre, are all taken into account. Someone can do it quite helpful.
Okay. And how about for athletes, like from an athletic performance side of things? Do you think it's could be effective, or?
It will come down to a lot of adherence,
Yeah.
and again, as long as people are taking into account some of those sort of variables in terms of the overall macronutrient, micronutrient values related to the individual and what their requirements to be able to lose, maintain, or gain weight and recover from training sessions.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, mate. Much appreciated. Have a good one.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers. All right, I'm here again now with George Gargalakis, who's assistant coach at Western Sydney 2 Blues. He's a good man. Some might think he's better than other people, but not a bad bloke overall. So George, I'm doing a diet really high in saturated fats and unsaturated fats, but I'm really up in the fats in my diet. I'm going for around 150 grams of fat per day. I think the RDI is around that 30 grams of fat a day. What do you reckon? Do you think that's a good thing that I'm doing, or?
Well, let's just put it back to you, Jimmy. How do you think you're going?
Well, mate, it's going all right at the moment. I'm getting some definite positive results at the moment, but I don't know long term. I've got to do it for 3 months. We'll see what happens in 3 months. I've got checking my bloods, checking my body fat percentage. So I've got a few different things that I'm doing. So we'll see how it all pans out. Is it something you'd ever consider doing?
Well, I was just about to get to that, James, but I'm really proud of you for endeavouring in something like this. But again, I don't think the keto diet is for me.
That's all right, George.
Mediterranean all the way.
Yeah, Mediterranean, good stuff. Take care, brother. All right, so I'm making my first keto hamburger. So I'm using some big, I think they're called portobello mushroom as my bun. I've got a nice beef mince burger patty with some cheese, some zero sugar gherkins or low sugar gherkins, a little bit of tomato, and a little bit of baby spinach. Chuck on a bit of Dijonnaise and a little bit of chili sauce just for good measure. Not too much. There is a bit of sugar in that, not much. There's only about 2 grams per 50 grams or something. All right, and then there's the top of my bun. The other mushroom. I'll bring you in for a closer look. So my first keto hamburger. Remove the bun for the delicious, tasty insides. Put the top of the mushroom bun back on. And look at that. If that doesn't look good, what does, eh? All right, so I've got head coach of Western Sydney 2 Blues, Joel Rivers here. Joel, what do you think of a diet high in fat, a ketogenic diet high in fat? So I'm eating roughly about 150 grams of fat per day. So I'm eating getting close to a kilo of fat per week.
Oh, well, it sounds like it shouldn't work. It sounds like it's against everything we've been told, training or just growing up normally or at school or anywhere you go. I don't particularly know the ins and outs of a keto diet.
Yep.
I did the Atkins diet probably in the late 90s, and I thought it worked really well once you got on it, but it was difficult to maintain. So
difficult to maintain, difficult to start to get over that initial hump of carbohydrates.
I think it took 3 weeks, and it was a long 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then when you got into it, it felt really good, but then it felt like you're always searching for food you can eat. You couldn't go out. You had to, so after a couple of months, it found really difficult.
So it does have its difficulties with finding food that's easy to eat on the run and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a lot of people that have in their front of mind when you go to the house or you go out that's let's have no carbs and let's smash as much fat as we can possibly do.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's against everything. Everything's fat free now. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's obviously there's a lot of sugar in things, but when people think dieting or think healthy eating, they think fat free.
So it's been a week since I started the diet and I'm ready for my second weigh-in. 91.6 kilograms. That's a loss of 3.4 kilograms and 24.6% body fat. That's a loss of 1.1%. So a pretty positive first week.
So we've got Two Blues General Manager here, Craig Morgan. Craig, what do you think of a diet high in fat?
I think it's appealing.
Yeah.
Basically, who doesn't love bacon?
Exactly.
But
As much bacon as you want.
yeah, which sounds great. But I think the trends change. I think as people research these things more, growing up back when I was a boy, the food pyramid was the key.
Yeah, the food pyramid. And what were you told to eat?
Potato sandwiches.
Potato sandwiches, a lot of bread, a lot
White,
of carbs.
bread and potatoes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'd come home from the gym and boil up potatoes and sweet chili sauce on it. And
Yeah.
that was then good for you, and now it's frowned upon.
Yeah. So it's funny how things are starting to change in terms of
And it become confusing for people.
it does become very confusing.
It's so it becomes a little bit difficult when you're deciphering what's possible fact and what's fiction, what's fashion.
Yeah, and there's so many different, I guess, fad diets and different things, ideas out there. I mean, there's that vegan movie about the vegan sports or vegan athletes. So there's so much information being thrown at us. So, as I said, it's really hard to know what's correct and what's incorrect.
Yeah, I think there's an individual basis there too. Certain things work for individuals
Exactly.
that don't work for others.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
who doesn't love bacon?
Yeah, exactly. That's the main thing.
Apart from
Bacon.
vegans.
Yeah, exactly. All right, thanks, Craig. No problems.
To me, it just sort of it feels wrong, even though I guess similar to Atkins, I guess, from what I understand.
Yeah, no, there's definitely those similarities with Atkins. Atkins, I guess, proposes a slightly higher protein intake, whereas keto is sort of a lower protein intake. But they're definitely very similar in their ideas.
It sounds good. I'd like to give it another go. I'm just scared of that first 3 weeks where you get no carbs. I love bread. You can probably tell I love bread. I love it.
Pasta?
No,
No,
you
no,
like
pasta.
rice or rice.
Yeah, bread and rice.
Right, you know, a bit of curry with a bit of rice.
Yep.
I can only have the curry. I can have no rice. I mean, what's the fun of that?
Cauliflower rice.
No,
It's not too bad. I've made a couple of good cauliflower rice dishes these days. And
it's more sort of hippie styles, I think. You know? But look, I've seen that it is working for you. It's not just the comment. You're more chirpy at training.
I am. I've got a lot more mental clarity.
Hopefully,
Didn't have much before.
Yeah, hopefully it pays off for us.
Yeah.
But it is genuinely working for you. So you've almost inspired me to jump on it.
It'll take a lot of
But then you told me you ate a whole wheel of cheese and some almonds, much like the Anchorman dog. So it's like I was impressed then.
Excellent.
But I don't know if I could do it. So
All right.
well, you nearly got me across the line,
All right,
Jimmy.
we'll try. I'll keep pushing and see if we
Thank
get
you.
there.
Thank you. Maybe viewers can get me across the line.
If you like Joel, you like the video, make sure you press like and subscribe.
Subscribe.
Join us next time, same fat channel, same fat place, for more of Chew the Fat.